My MIL invites my husband's ex to every family gathering to show he made the wrong choice. Things escalate when, on her birthday, my husband finally reaches his breaking point and cuts her out of our lives. I, 28F, never thought I'd be in a situation where my own mother-in-law would actively try to sabotage my marriage. But here we are, and I'm still reeling from the events of the past week. My husband and I have been married for 3 years. From the beginning, his mother made it clear she wasn't my biggest fan. I tried everything to win her over, cooking her favorite meals, remembering every birthday and anniversary, even volunteering at her church. Nothing worked. It wasn't until a family dinner 6 months into our marriage that I understood why. That's when I met her. My husband's ex-girlfriend from college. She was sitting at the table like she belonged there, chatting and laughing with my in-laws as if no time had passed. I'll never forget the look on my husband's face, a mix of shock, anger, and embarrassment. He pulled his mother aside, and I could hear their heated whispers from across the room. When they returned, she plastered on a fake smile and introduced the ex as an old family friend. I wanted to believe it was a one-time thing, a misguided attempt at I don't know what, but it wasn't. Suddenly this woman was everywhere. Christmas dinner, Easter brunch, 4th of July barbecues, you name it, she was there. Always perfectly polite, always with that hint of smugness in her eyes. My husband tried to put a stop to it. He confronted his mother multiple times, but she always had an excuse. Oh, I ran into her at the store and felt bad not inviting her. Or, she's going through a tough time and needs support. It was maddening. I did my best to keep my cool. I knew causing a scene would only make things worse. But it was hard, watching this woman inserted into every family memory we tried to create. The way my MIL would fawn over her, making pointed comments about her career or her looks, the not-so-subtle hints about the road not taken. My husband was caught in the middle. He loved his mother despite her faults, and he didn't want to cut her out of our lives. But I could see the toll it was taking on him. The tension in his shoulders every time we had a family event, the way he'd squeeze my hand under the table, a silent apology and show of support. Things came to a head last weekend. It was my Miles' 60th birthday, and she'd planned a big celebration at a local restaurant. We arrived to find the ex already there, seated right next to the place of honor. My stomach dropped. I knew this was going to be bad. Throughout dinner, my MIL was in rare form. Every other sentence was about the ex's accomplishments or how beautiful she looked. She accidentally brought up old stories of her and my husband, conveniently forgetting I was sitting right there. I could see my husband getting more and more tense. His jaw was clenched, his replies becoming shorter and shorter. I tried to diffuse the situation, changing the subject whenever I could, but my MIL was relentless. The breaking point came when she brought out the cake. As everyone sang happy birthday, she turned to the ex and said, loud enough for the whole table to hear, I always thought you'd be the one blowing out candles with us as family. The silence that followed was deafening. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And then my husband stood up. That's enough, he said, his voice low and controlled. Mom, I love you, but this ends now. I'm married to Nancy. She's my wife, my partner, the woman I chose to spend my life with. If you can't respect that, if you can't welcome her into this family without trying to replace her, then we're done. My Miles' face went pale. But honey, I didn't mean... You did, he cut her off. You've meant every dig, every backhanded compliment, every time you've invited her to these events. It stops now. Either Nancy is treated with the respect she deserves as my wife, or we won't be at these events anymore. Your choice. With that, he took my hand and we walked out. I was in shock, my heart racing. Part of me wanted to cheer, to feel vindicated after years of subtle jabs and disrespect. But mostly I felt sad. Sad for my husband, who had to make such a difficult choice. Sad for the relationship that might never be repaired. The drive home was quiet. When we got to our apartment, my husband broke down. I held him as he cried, years of pent-up frustration and hurt pouring out. We talked for hours that night about boundaries and family and what we wanted for our future. It's been a week since then. My MIL has called and texted non-stop, alternating between apologies and guilt trips. My husband is standing firm. He's made it clear. No more ex at family events, no more comparisons, no more disrespect. If she can't abide by that, we won't be attending. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about the future. Family dynamics are complicated, and I know this rift is causing pain on all sides. But for the first time in our marriage, I feel like we're truly united against the outside forces trying to come between us. I'm proud of my husband for standing up for our marriage. It couldn't have been easy, but it was necessary. We're in therapy now, both individually and as a couple, working through the issues this situation has brought up. As for the ex, I almost feel sorry for her. Being used as a pawn in someone else's game can't be comfortable. I hope she finds the strength to remove herself from this toxic situation. Looking ahead, I'm cautiously optimistic. We've set clear boundaries, and now it's up to my Mile to respect them. If she can, maybe we can rebuild a healthier relationship. If not, we're prepared to keep our distance. This experience has taught me a lot about the importance of communication and standing up for yourself in a relationship. It's not always easy, but it's necessary. Your partner should be your teammate, your strongest ally against the world. To anyone dealing with difficult in-laws or family interference, my advice is this: present a united front. Talk to your partner, make sure you're on the same page, and then face the issue together. Don't let others come between you. It's been a tough road, but I believe we're stronger for having gone through this. Whatever happens next, I know my husband and I are facing it together. And really, that's all that matters.